Packers fans, welcome back to the Packer Mentality Podcast. As always, thank you so much for being here. Before we get going, please help me build this channel and take a minute to subscribe and follow me on social media at Packer Mentality in the usual places. I'm back from Green Bay. I have some videos and pictures that I am working to incorporate into these episodes, but I did just get home this morning, and with the time difference, I am beat. However, I am very excited to talk about the game from Sunday. The Packers stormed back from a 17-point deficit in the fourth quarter to defeat the Saints 18 to 17. I was in the stands in at Lambeau to witness it, and it was electric. The videos, anything you see on social media, YouTube, whatever, they just don't do it justice. Jordan Love got a thunderous ovation from the fans when he was announced before the game. It was absolutely amazing. As for what happened during the game, it was 3 quarters of frustration and 1 quarter of the Jordan Love show. So, what was going on with the Packers? Defensively, this was actually a pretty good game from the Packers. I don't know what more we could ask from the defense, considering they were without Jair Alexander. It's an all-pro cornerback. They were they lost Devondre Campbell during the early in the game, and they lost Carrington Valentine, who was in the game because they were missing Jair Alexander. Was it perfect from the defense? Absolutely not. There were still some defensive play calls that I didn't like. There were a few too many missed tackles, and I noticed some obvious confusion early in the game in the secondary. An obvious one was Carrington Valentine running across the field because Chris Olave was lined up on the other side, and nobody was covering him at all. But they did hold the Saints offense to just 10 points. The other touchdown is on the special teams. You can't fault the defense for that one. Yes, Derek Carr was knocked out of the game and he was replaced by Jameis Winston, but Jameis Winston is a real, actual NFL quarterback, not some guy that has been sitting on a practice squad. You don't know his name, has never played in a game or anything like that. Jameis Winston, former first round draft pick, has a lot of starting experience, has played well in the past. You have to give the defense some credit here. The Packers pass rush came up with 4 sacks and were huge in this game, largely thanks to Rashawn Gary, who had 3 sacks, and he was an absolute beast on Sunday. And let's give some credit to Corey Ballantyne, who came in for Carrington Valentine. And while Valentine made some mistakes, he also made some very big plays late in the game. Overall, the Saints only had 175 rushing yards and 77, I'm sorry, 175 passing yards and 77 rushing yards. And they handled Taysom Hill. They didn't lose track of him, and he really didn't have much of an impact on the game at all. Now let's talk about the Packers offense. This was a very good, mostly veteran Saints defense. And for 3 quarters, Packers offense looked exactly like what they are, young and inexperienced. On each of the Packers' first 6 drives, covering the first 3 quarters, the Packers had key penalties on every single drive. First drive, 2 penalties right off the bat, holding and a false start. Second drive, false start. Third drive, holding. Fourth drive, illegal formation. That ends the half. They had one play that it took a kneel down. I'm not counting that one. Starting the second half, first drive of the second half, false start. Next drive, offensive pass interference. Finally, they have a drive with no penalties. And shocking, good things start to happen. 82-yard drive. Big throw to Romeo Dobbs on this drive. And it was only stopped on downs because there was a miscommunication on a throw to Patrick Taylor. So now we get to the fourth quarter, and this became the Jordan Love show, where you see some big time throws and some great plays with his legs. First drive of the fourth quarter, 46-yard drive, including another big pass to Romeo Dobbs, ends in a field goal. Next drive, Dontavian Wicks draws a huge pass interference call. Finally, the Saints cornerbacks and secondary generally were arriving about a half a second early all game and finally get a flag. And Jordan Love cashes it in with his legs. Inside the 10, makes a great move and gets into the end zone, his first rushing touchdown. On the 2 point conversion, this is a spectacular play by Jordan. Running one direction. I don't even know how he saw Torrey in the end zone that he was open at all, but finds Torrey on the other side of the field and hits him for the 2 point conversion. Third drive, 80-yard drive, including a huge 24-yard scramble by Love down the sidelines, managing to stay in bounds and picking up a huge chunk of yardage. That drive ends in a touchdown pass to Romeo Dobbs, who I cannot say enough about. I love this guy. He's fantastic. He just makes plays in big moments. This was a huge game for Jordan Love. His ratings won't be great, but we saw greatness on the field when he was throwing the ball, and he made big plays with his legs when it was needed. And his teammates, he elevated his teammates. They rose up to meet him. They didn't let him down, and his teammates also made some really big plays to help Jordan Love get his first win at Lambeau Field. Gets his first rushing touchdown, and he set a Packers record for the largest fourth quarter comeback. Most importantly for Jordan Love and the Packers, he showed he can overcome adversity. Led the team back from a big deficit, didn't panic. He put the team on his shoulders, and he made the plays to win the game. And probably what I think is a huge sign for his success going forward is he's still making good decisions. He still hasn't had any, what was that throw? Uh, he did throw his first interception today or on Sunday, but it was on a 3rd and long, and he took a shot on a deep throw and basically ended up as a punt. But I don't think it was a bad throw, even though it was an interception. So, who were the top rated players from Sunday? On defense, Rudy Ford, Pro Football Focus grade of 88.2, helped a lot by 2 pass breakups. Rashawn Gary with 3 sacks, he came in at 77.8. And Rasul Douglas, the good job in coverage on Sunday with a grade of 75.7. On offense, leading the way, Romeo Dobbs, 73.8. Rasheed Walker making his second NFL start in place of David Bakhtiari with another solid game. He had a grade of 73.2. On the other side, right tackle, Zach Tom, once again up there with his grade, 68.7. Packers have to feel really good that they continue to have 2 offensive tackles continue to be solid in every respect. It's going to be a short week for the Packers with the game on Thursday, but I wanted to voice some additional optimism for this team. Think about this offense and what they've been working without so far this season. David Bakhtiari has missed 2 games, all pro tackle. Elton Jenkins, he's a Pro Bowl guard, easy. He's missed the last 2 games. Christian Watson, the speed element in this offense, he is wide receiver number 1. He's missed every game, 3 games so far. And your running back number 1, Aaron Jones, he's missed the last 2 games. I am sure that Matt LaFleur has not been able to go very far into his playbook with all these young guys. You have guys that are still working to adjust to the speed of this game and just figuring things out. So now imagine, what does this offense look like when they get these guys back and all these guys get some more time together? What happens later this year and for the next few years? You're going to have a really solid offensive line. And the weapons, you'll get Aaron Jones back. That completely changes the running game. You might actually have one. And he's a huge weapon out of the backfield that he's has been a huge hole in this offense for the past 2 weeks. Christian Watson. I can't even imagine what this offense, what the passing game will look like with him in it, with that speed. The young and improving guys that have been on the field the last few weeks. Romeo Dobbs, continuing to make big catches in big moments. 3 touchdown catches already this season. Luke Musgrave, rookie tight end, 6 catches yesterday. Jaden Reed, just showing a lot of resiliency. Had a few problems on Sunday. Didn't come up with a few balls that I'm sure he would say he should have caught. And he came back with a huge catch on the final drive. Dontavian Wicks, basically being forced into the starting lineup with Christian Watson out. 0 catches the first week. Had a few catches last week, got his first touchdown pass. Gotten better every week, and he had 4 catches on Sunday. So Packers fans should be very excited about this team. And it continues to look like the Packers found another quarterback that can play and will be around for a bunch of years to torture the rest of the NFC North. I'll be back on Wednesday with a preview of the Lions game, another home game. Until then, everybody, have a great week, be safe, and go Pack Go.